I've never been fit. I wasn't even a fit kid. A combination of bad diet and general laziness meant I was never really in good shape. As a kid I did try, kinda. I hung out with the sporty kids. I played footy and cycled to my mates' houses every day. I frequently walked 30 minutes to school instead of taking the bus, but only so I'd have an extra quid for sweets at lunchtime. I was always on the bench for the school footy team. I was always miles off winning anything on sports day. I'd eat several bars of chocolate and crisps every day. I'd turn up for football training with fizzy drink instead of water and drank over 2 litres of the stuff a day, every day. So you can imagine how things developed after I discovered drink and drugs.
The first goal I ever set myself when I first started trying to get fit was to be able to run 10 kilometres in 1 hour or less.
It doesn't have to be in an organised race. It doesn't have to be for a medal and with a t-shirt and with a load of other people. I just have to run 10k in an hour. And I still want to do it before June 13th. That's the date we set.
4 kilometres, 21 minutes, 40 seconds.
Alright, so it's race week and I've been slacking off a bit, to be honest. Not great preparation. The gyms are finally back open. It was 2 days short of 5 weeks in the end. I went to the gym 3 times this week to do a class. And all 3 times when I got there, they were doing legs. So my legs are like jelly anyway. Not a great time to go and take a run. But, you know, between all the rain days and the gym not being out, there's been a lot of setbacks. There's been a hell of a lot of setbacks. I'm tired of making excuses. Yeah, my legs are sore, but can't wait forever. I want to do that. I want to do it this weekend. I said June 13th, so let's say June 13th. Today I've just run 5k. It was pretty good. I wasn't even that out of breath at the end of it. All that sweaty actually by my standards. So I've just finished what's supposed to be my last practice run before the race this weekend. And I did 7.2 kilometres, 42 minutes and 40 seconds I think it was. So if I could maintain that pace for another 2.5 kilometres, 2.8, I'd do it, but I'd do it with like literally a couple of seconds to spare. So the advice I'm getting is to try and pace myself, and I was told not to even go and do this run today, just to try and do it fresh. But I've not been practicing enough, and I've not run 10k once since the last race, which was 12 weeks ago now. So, or 10, I forget how long ago it was. I'm still not convinced I can do it, but I'm going to give it a go. I can beat the time I got last time, 103, 104, whatever it was. Can I do it in under an hour? I'm not sure. Times are all over the place. I've gotten to the 4.5k mark and I've been over 2 minutes ahead. Just now I did 5k and it was 1.5 minutes slow. Hopefully, I haven't just been wasting all of our time.
You ready for today?
So I knew how unreliable the Relive app was, so I'd updated it that day and I had set it to perform in the background. But knowing that it was prone to mistakes, I also had Anne come with a second phone so that she could record with one and use the other as a stopwatch. Now, I rarely have full-blown asthma attacks these days, but I do still get a shortness of breath, and before any sort of excessive exercise I like to take a couple of blasts, and true to form, being unorganised, this is the one time that I forgot to do so. I realised within a few hundred metres that I'd set off too fast and selected a pace that was more suitable for me. One of the things I asked Anne to do was slide the stopwatch in front of the camera every now and then so that I could see where I was relative to the time when I was editing. So as you can see, she does that exact thing here at around the 3.5k mark and realises that somehow she's pressed pause on the stopwatch. And so she had no idea how far along I was. By now I'm probably about 17, 18 minutes into the run. Her stopwatch is still on 4 minutes and 48 seconds. And if anything goes wrong my side, neither of us are going to know. And she knew that if she told me that, I'd probably stop running. So she's now having a little bit of a mini freak out and just praying that the Relive app for once is accurate at the end of the run.
I knew where the 5k mark was for sure. So exactly 5k, I had a look to see how I was doing time-wise and realised that my app, even though I'd updated it that day and I'd set it to work in the background, it still wasn't accurate.
Things never seem to run smoothly for me. Even the most simple things, something always goes wrong.
So it said I'd done 3k in like 18 minutes or something, and it should have said I'd done 5k in hopefully under 30. So at that point, at the 5k mark, I knew I didn't know what the time was. I couldn't rely on my watch anymore. I didn't know what time I started. I didn't set a stopwatch. So when I met Anne again, me and Anne probably lost me at around the 3.5, 4k mark because I went into the back roads and I told her where she'd be able to find me. So when I came back up onto the main road, we're at about the 6 to 6.5k mark. And if you'd see, I say to Anne, what time am I?
5:47. 5:47.
Neither of us now really have an accurate time. And luckily, when she said the time,
5:47.
I thought she said 35 minutes, 47 seconds. And in my head, that would have been bang on. So I was like, okay, that's kind of what I wanted to hear. And I carried on running. Around the 7.5, 8k mark, I did feel like stopping, I got to tell you.
43 minutes.
I remember thinking, I don't have much left, and I did have to stop a few times, but the difference this time was I never had to go beyond that 20 seconds. I kept walking and counted to 20, and then as soon as I got to 20, I'd start running again. During the day, I drove around the course to make sure everything was all right. One of the roads was shut off, private basically, I couldn't run through it. So I had to change the route, and I knew that it was only going to be about 9.4k. So I did a little bit of an extra off the road bit, but it still only took me up to about 9.6. So I'd not even had a chance to tell Anne this. So when I got to that point, Anne thought, oh, you've done it, well done, you've done it, and there's a few minutes to spare. But I just turned around and went, follow me, tell me when it's 60, and just carried on running.
So the timestamp on the video of me setting off to run is 5:12 and 16 seconds. It's a 10-second video. So Anne comes up with an on-the-spot plan.
58. Only 2 minutes.
To just make sure that she stops me at exactly 6:12.
So she knew she had to stop me at 12 minutes past 6. As soon as it tipped to 12 minutes past 6, she had to stop me.
Only 1 minute left.
And then I've stopped at least 6 seconds, possibly 16 seconds before my 1 hour cut-off point.
And we sat down, or I sat down. She congratulated me, she gave me some water, she explained about the stopwatch and why it hadn't worked and stuff. And then when she pressed record, it was still 6:12. You can see it tipped over to 6:13 at that point.
I ran for 60 minutes instead of 10 kilometres. In case we got it wrong, let's work it out on Google Maps.
This is where I started, where it says G. Came all the way down, through Lamai, past the temple, up past the gym, past the Wan hotel, down past the McDonald's sign again, ran that little road just to get an extra couple of 100 metres off track. This is where I thought the 10k mark was going to be, but I was wrong. And so I turned around and I carried on running, and I've run an extra 500 or 600 metres, and according to Google, well, there you go, I've done it. Did it in exactly an hour. So that's a mission complete. Woo! Finally. I didn't get sick during the race, and I didn't get sick after the race. So lots of little improvements, and of course I was 3 or 4 minutes faster. So all in all, I'm happy.
And so that's it. After 4 years, I have finally accomplished my promise or mission, whatever you want to call it, my goal that I set myself, and I can leave it behind me and move on to the next.
Frank Sargent.